In our first story, the Food and Drugs Authority says what appears to be a plastic fish on the Ghanaian market is apparently safe for consumption, contrary to popular belief that it is toxic. The fish emerged on the market in June with some unusual coatings. If smoked, the fish develops tough elastic skin which rustles and even burns like plastic when exposed to excessive heat. Komladum brings us more.
It's a sunny day in the Nsawam township. We have come to meet a family alarmed by what they discovered as an unusual type of fish now on the market. We decided to get into the market and see for ourselves what this looks like. From the fringes of the market right through to the center, women are lined up with smoked herrings, mainly from Ivory Coast, they tell me. And this is a fish everyone is patronizing, apparently. One of the residents here volunteers to buy some of the fish to demonstrate to us what she believes is a strange fish. The traders do not know we are filming anything at this stage. Away from the market, a volunteer conducts this experiment. The skin of a fish from the market tray looks oily and with bent gold patches. But after it is scrubbed, the coloring disappears and a plastic-like shine remains. After about 5 minutes, the skin of a fish dries up and begins to rustle. They decide to light a match to the peeled skin of a fish, and within minutes, it burned like rubber. Having seen this, we went back to the Nsawam market to show samples of a fish skin to the vendors from whom the pieces were purchased. 40-year-old Auntie Mansa, who has been selling fish for over a decade, is surprised at what she sees.
I know nothing about the said plastic fish because the herrings are smoked. Even if you do not handle them well, they will break into pieces.
She says the type that people are complaining about are those from Abidjan. They are more expensive, but look attractive and oily, and also taste better.
Okay. We have the foreign and the local ones. In terms of taste, price, and look, both are not the same.
Okay, and a local one. Look and the 4 3 cities, me and 5. Another vendor, Ima, says no vendor uses any artificial coatings for their herrings. Okay.
I do not believe it's rubber because rubber melts when you expose it to heat or fire.
Okay.
Now, government says that any attempt to change the engine of vehicles in an attempt to avoid paying the luxury vehicle levy constitutes an offence. Now, this comes as the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority is set to issue specialized stickers for the luxury vehicles in January 2019. Now, the LVL law, which is already in force, imposes an annual levy of between 1,000 and 2,000 Ghana cedis for vehicles with engine capacities of 3.0 and above. Here's Deputy Information Minister Pius Hajide explaining.
The LVL stickers are of the same shape and size like the normal roadworthy stickers, except that they are printed in different colors with additional information LVL printed on them according to the 3 different dimensions as I referred to earlier on. So we will see LVL1, LVL2, and LVL3. And this will be issued according to the category of vehicles that pay the levy. The following motor vehicles are exempt from the levy: tractors, ambulances, commercial vehicles that have the capacity to transport more than 10 persons, commercial vehicles for the transport of goods and other motor vehicles that the minister may, by legislative instrument, exempt. Let me indicate that it is an offense for anybody to change or replace the engine of a vehicle in an attempt to outwit DVLA and officials of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Moving on, education in rural Ghana is faced with many problems, from either poor classrooms to the lack of furniture. At the Pinar Senior High School in the Lambusia district of the Upper West region, that is the apparent situation that's playing out. Students have to carry chairs from the dining hall into their classrooms just to study. Rafiq Salam has more in the following report.
The students are over 1,000 at the Pinar High School, and the infrastructure situation here makes academic work an uphill task. Carrying of chairs into the classroom for lessons is a daily occurrence. The assembly hall here is the shade provided by the big mahogany trees around. Headmaster of the school, Osman Unamba, is worried about the state of affairs.
The other will meet under the trees, or there's a big mahogany tree which is now serving as at our assembly hall. So it is true that we don't have an assembly hall, and these are some of the things that does not make the school look attractive, and for which we can now students don't want to come to Pinar Senior High. So if all these problems are addressed, I believe they will be interested. Who doesn't like a good school? But the environment of the school should be said that students should be attracted.
Pinar Senior High School was established some 27 years ago as agriculture secondary school with 25 students. Due to the increasing number of students over the years, it metamorphosed into a senior high school and increased the number of programs to 4. The school was selected to be part of the double track system, but was later exempted after fewer number of students were placed there. However, the challenges at the school are enormous and difficult to surmount. Girls prefect of the school, Sofa Belenda.
We are not having enough classrooms. The Form 1s are compelled to go back and use the JHS classrooms that they are not in use of it. And then if you get there, it's very wretched. The zinc is spoiled. They are exposed to sun. If it is raining, they can't have their classes again. They have to come back and sleep in the dormitories. Then the furniture issue. They have to put stones together as a furniture. Some are compelled to use the dining hall benches that we're supposed to use and eat. They send them there to have their classes. No tables for them to sit down and write. Some will have to stand while copying notes.
A dining hall started 11 years ago is still under construction and has not been abandoned. Osman Unamba expressed concern over the situation.
I understand about 5 contractors have had to change hands over this building over the years.
I'm seeing that this is not completed, but I've seen that you're using it. Why?
It wasn't our intention to use it, but the students were eating under trees. And we realized that in this 21st century, we're just far behind time. And for convenience sake, as soon as the dining hall was roofed, we thought it wise to move the students to be using it while we await for the final completion of the dining hall.
Behind me is this huge, magnificent building that is supposed to serve as a library complex for the school. But it has not been converted into a girls' dormitory due to lack of structures for the school.
Our dormitories are so congested. Due to that, our shop buses, we have to bring it outside and it has exposed to the weather. Sometimes you'll be in class, then if it is raining, you have to leave your studies and run back to dormitories to keep your properties so that it won't get wet by the rain. I'll plead on the government that if they can get us dormitory so that we won't be suffering like that. The suffering is too much for us now.
Another major worry at the school is a lack of fence wall. As a result of that, maintaining discipline at the school is a nightmare for school authorities. Students leave the campus at will. Other unscrupulous persons also give school authorities a nightmare by visiting the school at their blind side to engage in nefarious activities.
We are now vulnerable to any senseless terrorist attack. Remember, this place is not far from Burkina Faso. And these days, these things are now prevalent, even Burkina Faso, Mali, and we are also closer. Who knows? But if the wall is there, at least it serves as a security check. But in the absence of the wall, we are vulnerable to anything. That is our cry. It's just a remand, an appeal, a passionate one, of course, for the government at least to revisit some of the abandoned projects, such as the fence wall, the dining hall, and then the assembly hall as well. Because these are places for social gathering. And if these things are not there, they create problem and they make campus life uninteresting, to say the least. The story about Pina Senior High should touch the hearts of many. And then we should come to the aid of the school.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Pina.
Now to the Ashanti region, where the Interministerial Task Force and the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners have arrested 9 Chinese miners. Now, the Joint Task Force has also warned police, military and other persons posing as national security operatives to desist from assuming any regulatory role in extorting money from miners. Now, the raid on miners within the Jabo Forest and Domanase environs in the western region on Friday and Sunday revealed a strong Chinese presence in small-scale mining despite an embargo on foreign involvement. Love FM's Erasta Sasare Donko reports.
A raid by the Joint Interministerial and Small-Scale Mining Task Force on mining sites within the Jabo Forest and Domanase in the western region at the weekend revealed continuous violation of mining laws. Despite a clear prohibition of foreigners by law to engage in small-scale mining, many Chinese nationals were actively engaged. Some have set up camps, destroying the forest cover in search of gold. The devastation goes wide as far as the eyes can see. These 4 Chinese nationals were even bold enough to set up a bulk fuel supply point for illegal mining close to the Jabo Forest. In all, 9 Chinese miners were arrested. At Domanase, some escaped into the forest and left equipment running. The task force destroyed some and grounded 4 excavators found in both Jabo and Domanase. Though the ban has been lifted, the task force believes the real job of enforcing the law on mining starts from today. Leader of the Interministerial Committee Task Force, Nana Kwesi Ajikum, and PRO for the Small-Scale Miners Task Force, Peter Aiki, had a warning for those who will want to take advantage of the absence of a ban.
Yaduma police. So we are police ni, we are soldier ni, we are national security ni. Yan small because yan small will be so will be mrasa to say babaji obisika anabe bo obi apo. And so we next funeral kuri uko obi site near Freyan never be shiawa and we be dealing as a national PRO for the task force. Now we are in collaboration with the Interministerial Task Force, and we are working together very hard to get rid of the illegalities in the system. My advice to our fellow miners is that if you don't track your machine, the government is saying that the policies don't go to the field, don't go and work with the machine. If you don't have the document, don't go and work. For now, we are going to be very, very vigilant, very, very serious on the operations, because this ban came as a result of illegalities in the system. So we as a miners, we are not going to sit down for this thing to happen again. We don't want to encounter problem or meet our own people who are doing the wrong thing. If you're on the water body, don't try. if you are close to the river body, don't go. We will come after you, and we will make sure that the ban will never place on this industry again, because for almost 2 years ban has really affected the legal miners. So this time round, we are not going to spare anyone who is going to do illegalities from Monday going.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
And that's where we wrap up this morning's headlines for the news.
Well, we'll have more news. We'll review the newspapers, and so make sure you make a date.